Anyways guys, Skylar here. Felt like doing a baking video because I feel like trash and I want cookies. And I figured I'd try to do a little better of a produced video other than the fact you can see my bathroom door and my dishes. A+. Um, I wanted to be a little more produced, like put up my lights and stuff, but I'm too lazy, so I totally turned up the ISO, so it's probably gonna look terrible. Welcome to my life. I'm gonna make some chocolate chip cookies, which, yes, they are very basic, but they're quick to make for a video, they're delicious, and they'll fix my craving of wanting something delicious to eat. The first thing is I do use a KitchenAid mixer for this, because I don't feel like mixing by hand, but you can definitely do this by hand or a hand mixer, whatever your preference may be. And since it is Halloween, I'm wearing a nice witchy things, and I have a lovely sign, because I have been expecting you in my kitchen for a while. Also, welcome to the workbench that I built. It is now stained in pink. Okay, I need my KitchenAid. In my case, I do place it on a placemat because I don't want it to be gross all over the place, and also I don't trust this one to get destroyed. So, I need something to clean up with. Alright, so with my cookies, I do tend to do either 100% shortening or 100% butter. In this case, I don't have enough of either, so I'm doing a 50-50. So I'm doing a half cup of butter, half cup of shortening, and just because I haven't really beaten them up or anything, I am gonna just beat them a little bit before I add the sugar in. Where is my paddle attached? Oh, over there. Use my paddle attachment, because we do want this to actually beat. We don't want to. We want to add air, but not whisk air. All right, so let's get this beaten a little bit, and then I'll add my sugar. You do want to make sure your butter's room temperature. For some reason, mine didn't really soften, so that's also why I'm beating it a little bit. And one day, I'm gonna get a nice clear bowl so you can see what I'm doing. All right, let's mix it up. Okay, so for my sugar, you're gonna have some options here, because where this is a basic cookie recipe, you really can do what you want. In my case, I do a 75-25% of brown sugar, white sugar. Brown sugar makes it chewy and fluffy, while white sugar kind of makes it more spread and crispy. So I tend to add way more brown sugar, and there's a little bit of white sugar because I don't want it so chewy that it has no real structure to it. So I got 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar and 1/4 of a cup of granulated sugar. Just gonna throw that in there. And then you just want to beat this till everything's kind of well combined and it fluffs up a little bit. It's not gonna get as fluffy because of the brown sugar and the Crisco, but it will still do its job. Alright, once you've mixed for a bit, you do kind of want to scrape things down, because if you're using a KitchenAid like I am, things do kind of start building up on the wall and everything. And I totally just got some of this stuff on my socks, so come me. Alright, unlike some people, I'm literally going to take this bowl off of the mixer, because it's so much easier. I tried. It's just butter and sugar for the most part, so whatever. Oh, dear lord, no. Alright, let's kind of... this... You know, I didn't think about this part, but this is my life. Alright. I'm gonna give it one more quick mix just to make sure everything's combined. Alright, perfect. So next is we're going to add our eggs and vanilla. I want to put this on something. Here, I'll use the sugar bowl I was using before. Alright, so I have a teaspoon of vanilla. You can add more or less, or not at all if you prefer not to. At least add some kind of extract because it does help. In our case, we're making chocolate chip cookies, so vanilla does help actually with that. That does enhance chocolate flavor. And then, what did I do with my eggs? Oh, right here. I was trying to be fancy and have all my ingredients underneath the workbench and just whip them out, but it's not going well. Alright, so we are doing 2 eggs. You do want to do these one at a time with everything combined. Again, you do want room temperature because it just creams better. And please, please crack your eggs in a separate bowl so that way if anything's wrong with the egg, it doesn't go in your batter. The one thing I will say is please crack it on a smooth surface, because otherwise, cracking on the side, you're gonna get shell inside your yolk. That was pretty good. Alright, so 1 egg. Oh. So I will do this just until combined. Egg can go in there. Alright, second egg. And while this is mixing the second egg in, I'm gonna wash my hands because they are disgusting now. Alright, be back in, mixy. Alright, so before I add my flour mixture of my dry ingredients, some people might just say, I am gonna just kind of scrape this down a little bit because, again, things kind of fly up on the side and don't get fully incorporated. So you do want to make sure that does happen. Alright, get in. That's fine. Alright, quickly. Because we're still at a stage where you can't really over mix too much. I mean, you can definitely cause your butter to separate, I guess, if you really over mixed or had too much moisture in here, but not a huge deal. Oh no! I got stuff on my mixer. I mean, as if that doesn't happen on a daily basis. This is why I like this kitchen, because I actually have space to do things, and I have like paper towels directly behind me. Alright, I've had this KitchenAid for like 6 years, and I've actually never gotten anything on the mixing bowl spot. Go me. But I will say this KitchenAid is very much loved. Alright, so last thing is our flour mixture. So I have 2 1/4 cups of flour, I have a teaspoon of baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and then I have a teaspoon of cinnamon here. The cinnamon also helps enhance chocolate flavor, and it kind of goes with vanilla, to be honest. It is optional, again, because people don't like cinnamon, you don't have to add it. So with my dry ingredients, I do tend to do about a half at a time, just so that way it mixes in a little better, because your wet is kind of hydrating your flour. So I do want to kind of mix it in slowly, so I don't over mix it in. Alright, put that back there, move you over here. Alright, and then I just kind of folded it slightly by hand, just so that way I don't have a poof in my face as I put this on here. Preference, don't have to do it. Alright, so mix just until you do not see any streaks, and then we'll add the second batch in. Ew, I'm sticky. Ugh. I didn't even get anything there. Why can't I move? Alright. Good. Alright, and then I'm just gonna push this back into the bowl, because it will just kind of fall in. I hope. Maybe. I don't know. I'm trying here. Alright, and then I'm just going to add the rest of the flour in. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. And then with this, I'm going to mix until almost combined, and then I will whip in my chocolate chips, which will be a full bag, which is about 12 ounces. Some people do a little more. I don't feel you need like 2 cups of, no, like barely 1 cup is all you really need. This is not a huge batch. Alright, so just until it is almost together. Alright, there we go. So the reason I'm doing it until almost together is I don't want to over mix my batter, because Well, with cookies, you do want to reduce some gluten because that does add structure. You don't want to overdo it just with cakes because otherwise they get tough. And, you know, you want a chewy cookie, but you don't want a chewy cookie because the gluten got overworked. The one good thing is if you think you might have overmixed, you can put your cookies in the fridge for a little bit to help it relax. Nothing wrong with that. Alright. Scissors. Boop, boop. Once. Alright. And then I'm literally gonna mix this till it's just combined, no more. That's it. Alright, that's literally it. Just till combined. And I'm gonna give it a couple more mixes by hand just to make sure everything is beautiful. Alright, let's also like take this off. I'm just gonna... Alright. Clean off here. Mixer. If you're using KitchenAid or your beaters, if you're using hand mixer. Test out your dough. Oh, that tastes really yummy. Alright, let's kinda maneuver this here. I am terrible at cleaning my beaters off. Because I'm just looking at all this dough and I'm like, I want to eat that. But usually I'll just kind of use the point to clean off my spatula that everything is, of course, sticking to, and then I can just scoop it in. Come on. I'm gonna be real with you guys, this was not my intended video to be putting out right now because I did a have like a pantry shelf organizational video. Unfortunately, I shot it on my iPhone 11 and there wasn't enough lighting, even though it totally looked like there was enough lighting. And it came out very dark and grainy. So, yay me. Alright, so quick mix by hand just to make sure everything is good. Yep, that's good. Alright. So, my oven is preheated to 350. And when it comes to baking the cookies, you have a couple options. So my particular recipe, because there is more than just like sugar in it, there's brown sugar which has some molasses in it. You can let these sit overnight, or at least a couple hours, just so that way, A, it relaxes the dough a bit, B, it allows like the vanilla and the cinnamon and the sugars to kind of combine a little more happily than they have already. And it also will make your dough a little stiffer and a little easier to work with, because right now it's kind of sticky because there's butter and shortening in there. I have done this overnight and it actually tastes way better if you let it last overnight. However, for the sake of this video, I am going to make some of these. The rest I will actually just put some plastic over top and just shove it in the fridge. I do use a cookie scoop because it keeps everything the same size and also they bake way better that way. So with my recipe, if using all shortening, they don't really spread, but if you do add butter or use 100% butter, they are going to spread a good amount. So you do want to make sure you're giving enough space. In my case, I'm using a pretty average size pan. I don't think it's maybe like a quarter sheet pan, maybe roughly a quarter sheet pan. Yeah, I'd say it's about a quarter sheet pan. I do usually 4 by 3, so about 12 cookies in total, depending on how big you're really making them. So I'm just gonna start scooping them. Oh, a fly! I hate that. So I do try to keep them just to the size of the actual scoop. You don't have to use parchment paper. It is a choice on my end because I do prefer parchment paper, because that way the cookies don't stick. If you have like a silicone baking mat, that'd actually be ideal. I do have one myself, but it's too big for this cookie sheet, so I don't use it. At least not on this. If I have like just a plain, like a flat sheet with just a lip on it, that would probably be better for it. Oh, these are not evenly put on here. Yep. Try to evenly put them on here. I didn't do that great of a job, so, you know, that's my life right now. That's the other thing if you do refrigerate these. If you have to move them around, it's a little easier because your dough's cold. So, you know, they aren't going to fight with you to move. Alright. You know what, let's just do this part first. We'll do the down first. Because the up isn't working for me. A little Q&A, it's fine. Q&A? QC. QC, that's the words. I say if you're baking for others, obviously don't be touching the batter with your hands like crazy like I am in some cases, but this is really gonna be mostly just for myself. And maybe my roommate, haven't decided yet. Alright. So. Oh, and another thing, if you do plan on storing this in the fridge, I would say if you plan to store it more than just overnight, make sure you do put it in an airtight container. You can probably keep it there for about a week. I wouldn't keep it any more than that personally. Just because it's not really made for that. I hate to say it. You know, the stuff you buy at the store that comes in a tub or whatever, that has preservatives generally in it. Or not, it doesn't really last that long shelf-wise. So, you know, if you're gonna store it, put something airtight. You can also put it in the freezer. I wouldn't say, honestly, more than a month, just because a lot of freezers tend to, well, freezer burn things, even if they're airtight. I don't care what people say. Freezing things, you're gonna get freezer burn if you keep them there for too long. Just a fact. Alright, so with these cookies, it really depends how you really want them, to how long you're gonna cook them or bake them. In my case, I do about 10 to 12 minutes. I'm looking for them to be kind of like a little golden brown around the, pretty much crispy around the edges, golden brown on top, and a bit spread out. I do them a bit doughy, so sometimes I do underbake them. But I will say one thing, err on the side of caution. If you think they're probably done, just take them out. Because the worst happens is you bake the next one a wee bit longer than the first one. Because all you're really doing is just making sure they're baked enough so you don't get sick from the egg and flour, realistically. Alright, so I'm going to pop these in there, I'm going to do a bit of cleaning, and we'll go from there. Also, I'm going to just kind of move these a little bit because they're not quite where I want them. And where they're going to, like, intersect with each other. I have a cookie on my hand. Alright. So, I'll be right back. Alright guys, so the cookies are done, and let me just grab one so you can like see it up front. These took about 11 minutes. Which one looks the best? This one does. Okay, so they are still kind of warm, but as you can see, hopefully from this horrible lighting, that it is a bit golden brown around the edges, and then just, this is terrible lighting. Oh, whatever, they look great. Also, I need my roommate. Roommate, get in here!
Hello.
Eat a cookie.
Oh, hell yeah.
Tell me if they taste good.
Which one's the best looking?
I don't know, it's going in my mouth though. How?
That one has the most chocolate chips. Oh, hell yeah.
It's a little doughy. I am very hot. I'm sweaty. Yeah, I'm spitzing.
Hold on, let me get the fan.
Oh, okay. Pepper towel. Can you even pop that? I mean, that works.
This is what I'm here for. This is real good.
Yeah, they're still chewy from the brown sugar, and the chocolate's all melty. Because I don't bake them at 375 like some people.
What's that supposed to mean?
Anyways, guys, that will do it. So, please enjoy that I'm sick and I make cookies video. Bye!